Hi friends, Tracy.bish here, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. Thank you so much for clicking play and coming over to my YouTube channel. Today I'm taking part in the Monochromatic Instagram hop. Each week we have a different colour as our theme, so they're all monochromatic. But for this week we have Daffodil Delight, which I'm super excited about because Daffodil Delight is a nice, bright, happy, fun colour, and I know that everyone's going to have some really great cards using this great colour. So I'm starting off with a piece of basic white thick cardstock. This is half a piece of A4 that I've just chopped in half and then scored in half again, and then this gives us our normal standard card front here in Australia. I'm also grabbing some Daffodil Delight cardstock. Obviously, this is probably the easiest way to bring colour into the card, is to use it as a nice matting. So Daffodil cardstock, we're going to cut that down to 4 by 5 and 5/8, and then we're going to mat it with a piece of basic white thick cardstock. This is going to be measuring 3 3/4 by 5 3/8, and I've used the thick because what we're going to do is we're going to emboss with the dies, and it's a super great technique, and I really wanted it to be nice and thick as well. So once we've cut this down, I'm going to grab that large die from that set, and I've got the Cheerful Daisies bundle. Now you can find it in the current annual catalogue on page 110, part of a suite. If you have the new annual catalogue, which starts next month, you can find it on page 75 if you're lucky enough to have it in your hands. Alright, so I've got my two pieces. Now my cutting blades on my paper trimmer are a little bit dull. I do need to change them, but for now I'm just using my sander to run along those edges and get rid of any of the fluffies or furries that are on there because my blade is dull. This works really well, and rather than changing out my die, my blade so quickly, this works so well. Alright, so I have that large die that has quite a few flowers and leaves attached all together. I'm going to run that through the cut and emboss machine. And I'm also going to be using my grey cutting pad. So this one here, the cutting plate. This is for when you're embossing using the 3D embossing folders. And this is a great way of actually using your dies to emboss onto your card. Now, in some places it did actually cut through, and I am fine with that because it gives it that little bit of definition without cutting all the way through. So we didn't want to cut all the way through. I just wanted to have that definition, because we're sort of doing like a, what would you call it? There is a spectacular name for it, and no-line watercolouring. So it's sort of using that no-line watercolouring technique, but instead of stamping it, I'm actually just running it through the cut and emboss machine and just embossing using the die. So this is a really great technique. So I have my ink here and my water painter. Now there's a couple of ways you can add ink with your water painter. You can add the ink into the lid of your stamp pad by pressing down, or like I've done here is I've just got an acrylic block, I've inked it down into the stamp pad, and then I'm just going to go and pick up the ink from there. And you can make it as light or as dark on your image as you like. So once this actually dries, I do come back through, add a little bit of extra colour, which gives it that little bit of more, like the shadowing effect, which turns out really, really pretty. Once it does dry again, I'm going to actually bring in the stamp set and stamp over the top. I really wanted the no line watercolour effect, but it was actually really quite light. And by coming back in, stamping over the top, so I've stamped that large flower and the centre in the large flower. I've stamped the two leaves and then the centres of the two top flowers, and it gives it that really strong definition, which really turned out quite well. As you can see, I'm sort of like working out what I want to do, how I want to leave it. I do have that little strip of Daffodil Delight card, and it measures 4 by 3/8 of an inch. I'm using that Made My Day sentiment from that step set, the Cheerful Daisies. Fits perfectly on that little strip, and I just think it makes a nice card, really for anything as well. You know, you can give this card to anyone for any reason because they made your day. So here I am, I'm bringing in those special features in the flowers, so the centres, the outline, the leaves, and you know, I think it really turned out quite well for that reason, so really happy with how that turned out. I am going to pop up that sentiment with a strip of not really sure of what the name of it, I don't have it in front of me, but they work really well. If you don't have those strips, you can actually use your bones of your dimensionals, so they will work just as well. And I know it probably doesn't show too well on the video or of the card, but there's little specks of yellow Daffodil Delight on the card as well, and I'm going to show you how to do that really quickly and easily as well. Okay, so now if you're in need of any of the supplies that I've used on today's card, I would love it if you purchase them in my online store if you live in Australia. There is a link in the description of this video if you would like to purchase from me. I have some really great specials for all my customers. I have thank you gifts of a handmade card, and also the Simple Sweet Stampers tutorial bundle I send out for free for anyone who purchases in my online store. Please use this month's hostess code, it's in the description of this video. That just helps me track my orders. And yeah, if you spend over $65, you'll also receive this month's bundle tutorial. So some really great specials for just shopping with me each month, and I would love to, you know, be able to spoil you as a customer. So if that interests you, please you see everything that's available in my online store. And all the information for this card you can see over on my blog, so there is a link to that blog post in the description as well, so all that information is in the description. Now this is an Instagram hop, so if you pop on over to my Instagram page at tracy.bish, and you can see everyone that's joining in the Instagram hop this week. Please go over, give them you know, a bit of support, a bit of love if you've enjoyed their cards. I know everyone really appreciates when you leave a comment, or maybe you follow them. That's always fun as well. So I'm just hitting this with the heat tool. It was just a little wet after doing all the watercolouring and everything. So just by using the heat tool to dry it out, it really helps to connect, to keep that nice and dry, ready to be adhered down to the Daffodil Delight card. So here I am, we're going to do some really little splatters here. I don't like using my Stampin' Write markers to do splatters because we've got to buy them in packs of 10 and it's expensive to ruin them. So here I am, I'm using my Stampin' Blends. Now this is a great little tip. The Stampin' Blends are well, once they're finished, you throw them away, you buy another one. So they're disposable. And I find that it really doesn't affect the nibs too much by flicking them. So all you need to do is pop it in your lid and then flick out, and you're going to get some nice little splatters, some big, some little, and it really, really is so pretty on the card as well. And you know, we can get Stampin' Blends for just about every colour in the Stampin' Up colour scheme. Now, because I have added a little bit of water to that basic white thick cardstock, I'm going to use my tearing tape on the back and secure that down onto the Daffodil Delight cardstock. You really don't necessarily have to, but I find it warps a little bit, especially like you've added water, you've added the heat tool, so this just makes sure that it sticks down really well. Tearing tape is an amazing adhesive, so I recommend using that when you're working with water or heat, and you won't have any problem with it bubbling too much or not sticking down properly. So I'm going to add that to the Daffodil Delight cardstock. We're going to pop that up onto our card base with dimensionals because I love getting a little bit of pop up on my card. And like I said, we're using those strips of dimensionals. There is a special name for them and I cannot think for the life of me what it is. So, but you can find the supplies list in the description of this video, so head over there. It'll give you all the supplies that I've used for today's card. And lastly, to finish off the card, we're going to add a couple of rhinestones, well actually 3 rhinestones, just to finish off the card. Give it a little bit of bling, a little bit of shine, and you can't go wrong with that. So I really hope that you've enjoyed today's card. It was for the Monochromatic Instagram hop. The colour theme is Daffodil Delight, if you haven't heard that yet. And yeah, I love that you've come and joined me today. If you've enjoyed today's video, I'd love it if you gave me a thumbs up. You could hit subscribe if you hadn't done that as well. And please tell me if you've enjoyed the card by leaving me a comment. All the other team members that are joining in this week's hop will be over on Instagram, so you can go and join the Instagram hop over at @tracy.bish. And yeah, here are the little strips that I'm talking about. Not sure of the name, but they work fantastic. If you do shaker cards, these are a must, and a really great little adhesive to have in your stash. I don't use it as much as I probably should, but they are fantastic when you're doing long strips of things. Alright, thank you so much for joining me, everyone. I hope that you have an amazing rest of your weekend. Have a relaxing time if you're relaxing, or I hope you're very productive with whatever you're doing. I'll be back with another video actually tomorrow for Tracy's Sunday Challenge, so please come back and join me for that. And yeah, if you have any questions, any comments, please leave me a comment in the section below, and I can get back to you on those as well. Alright, I'm going to leave you to a little bit of music as we pop in some rhinestones. But yeah, have a great day, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.